it's Robin.
Hey, it's Melody. I'm recording.
Yay! So today I'm going to teach you a way to properly crimp. Now, a lot of people, when they crimp, they just smash. And we don't do that here at the Color Stones. We have crimping tubes that close, they kind of fold in, and they make a very nice finish for your piece. And it's all about having your piece as finished and neat as possible. So I'm going to show you how we crimp here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to string our beads. Now, I'm not going to make a full necklace today or a full bracelet because that's really not the point. The point is to see how you crimp. So I've got some beads on here. And you want to leave your string material attached to the roll. It means if you pick it up, you're not going to lose your beads. And it's just, you know, you've got a little bit more play with the length. You could be making a bracelet and suddenly decide, hey, I want to make a necklace instead. And if it's attached to the roll, you can just extend it.
And what kind of cord are you using?
We use soft flex here because it doesn't hold a bend. You know, it's nice and soft and flexible. It is a braided stainless steel cable coated with nylon. And the finer you get, the smaller and daintier the bead. You want to use the heaviers for, you know, those monster 12 millimeter and up beads that get really heavy. So the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to open my crimps.
Because it shows that it's the shop and what day I pulled it.
That's fine. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put on your crimp. Oh, it's a teeny tiny little thing. It's a 2 millimeter crimp. And then you'll put on your finding. And then you'll go back through your crimp. Now, it doesn't matter at this point getting close to the beads.
Let me see the, there. Okay, yeah.
It doesn't matter getting close to the beads at this point. At this point, you have a little bit of wiggle room. You don't necessarily have to waste your material. You just want to make a nice size loop. I like a loop about that big. There's wire guards, and we do carry them if you like a perfect size loop every time. But on this, I'm going to just show you freehand what to do. So I've got my finding, and then my little crimp, and my nice little length of loop. And I'm going to take my crimping tool. Let me show you the two different spots on there. Can you see them, Mel?
Yeah, that looks perfect.
So there's a little U shape that is closest to my hand. And then there's a little kind of disc shape that is closest to this hand on the end.
I call it a football.
You call it a football? I just think it's a little disc shape.
But maybe I don't know what a football is.
The one I always worry about is the U, because that's the important, the first important spot. So you always want to start with the U. And you're going to take your crimp. And when I do it, I kind of like to look at it from all different angles if I can. You want your crimp, you know, centered in the tool. You don't want it sticking out either side. And you want it exactly inside that U. And when you do, you want the legs of your soft flex in this case to go to either side of that U. And you're going to press down. You're not going to kill it. You just need to press down and crimp it. And when it comes out, it is a little U shape. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a nice little U. It's got a wire on either side. And then you're going to turn it on its side. And it's going to be a C.
Oh.
A U and a C. It's easy to remember. It's 2 letters of the alphabet. Everybody knows their alphabet. It's a recognizable shape. And
we're like, you can do it.
You can do it, yeah. So you're going to take it to the second spot, which is actually your first spot. And you're going to smush that little C into a little disc, or in Melanie's case, a football. And there's your perfect little crimp. And you can put a cover on it, but if you've done it properly, it will be nice and neat, and you won't need a cover because it'll just look like a tiny little silver tube. So the next side is a little harder. I like to string my tail in a couple beads. You can't always do that. Sometimes you have to trim it close, and that's okay too. But you're going to want to trim your tail. And then you're going to give yourself, say, 3 or 4 inches at the other end and trim it off. And then you'll put on your crimp. And then the other side of your clasp, which in this case is a closed jump ring. It's been soldered closed, so it's more secure. And then you go back through your crimp. I can see it. And a couple beads. It wants to go through all the beads in this case. Now, when you want to pull it tight on your necklace or bracelet, you want to kind of lay it down. You don't want to hold it up in the air. You'll pull it too tight and it won't flex on you. But it'll also kind of want to shove this way towards your clasp, and it'll be hard to pull and close that gap right here between your beads. So pulling that crimp down and closing that gap, and then you want to get your loop the size up here. So you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're going to start with your U. And finding the 2 legs of your soft legs are kind of difficult on this side. I tend not to worry about it as much. If I can get them in either side of the U, I do. But sometimes it's going to cross inside, and that's okay. You're going to press down. Don't kill it. Make your little U. Turn it on its side. So it's a C, and then make it into your little disc or football shape. Now you've crimped both sides. It just looks like a little tube on either side. And you can trim your tail close. And you're done. Now obviously this does not fit anybody, but you'll make it a bracelet or a necklace or an anklet or whatever you want. And that's how you crimp properly.
And then you used a closed jump ring, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to us why you would use a closed jump ring as opposed to just an open one.
So these are all cold connections. And the idea with a cold connection is there's no heat involved, but you want it as secure as possible. If you have a open jump ring, like say this one, and you don't close that little gap perfectly, it is more likely to slip off and come apart. If you used a soldered closed jump ring, then it's not going to come off. It's a solid little ring of metal, and it's not going to slip off on you.
And if you're using an extender chain, you just put it on the chain because those are usually closed.
Right, you don't need a jump ring at all. So the idea is to have as few parts that will open up on their own. You want as much closed items as possible, closed jump rings, chains that are soldered closed, you know. That's why I don't add a jump ring to this side, because then I'm not worried about the jump ring coming off, because there's no way to use a soldered closed one on this one. I'd have to use an open. So I just don't use one. And that's really, you know, the point. Make it as secure as possible.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we switched to those lobsters with already a closed ring on it. We used to carry the ones that you had the open ring, but then you had to put a closed ring to attach it. So we switched to using those here at the Color Stones, and they seem to work really well. I love them.
Yeah, I love them too.
Well, that is crimping, as Robin said. We are here with all you need to be creative. Like our videos, comment, ask us any questions, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.